Hello people that in the house are doing, so I'm going to give out a bit here. Um, so first of all, do you remember when the Irish government just let a few people to pick cherries, whatever it was, cherry pickers from Bulgaria? They let them walk into the country, no checks and nothing, no social distancing, oh nothing, they just let them walk in and they were allowed to go wherever they wanted to and nobody said boo to them. And the same with any other country, anybody can come in, it's a free country, Ireland's open for business. And you know what? Do you know what's pushing the limits with Leo Farker and Michael D. Higgins and the rest of that? There's not a word being said about these men and women that stuck over in Lebanon in service for us, for the Irish people, in helping other underdeveloped countries. And you know, to abandon them, and that's what they're doing. They're abandoning their soldiers. And Michael D. Higgins, and you know, I like the reason why I hate Michael D. Higgins so much is because he's a failure of a president to stand up for the soldiers. He has two jobs: to be head of state and to be commander in chief of the army. And he failed the army terribly. He might have mentioned it a few times, and the times he mentioned it, saying there'd be better pay and better conditions, he wants better pay and better conditions. I was like, you know, he could do something, but he didn't fuck all. He sat down and he fucking didn't do nothing. Might as well say it straight. Didn't do nothing. Didn't do nothing. As commander in chief of the defence forces, you know, he has a big say. He has a big say. He can open his mouth, but he decided not to. He decided not to open his wallet either. And still, this time, if I was commander in chief of the army, and if I see my soldiers, 100 and something soldiers left out in Lebanon, this virus started, they were supposed to be brought home, to see their families. You know, and I know people might say that's a danger, it's a danger, but these are our soldiers. We bring them home. The soldiers be brought home to see their families, at least to be brought back onto Irish soil, and to be, you know, obviously properly isolated. To have some remnants of home. So they're getting homesick being left over there in a foreign country. And I say this straight to people. If there was any other country that wouldn't give a damn about cherry pickers, they wouldn't let them in the first place. In Australia, they would laugh at you. If you went to the Australian Prime Minister and said, we're going to bring in cherry pickers, he would laugh at you. He would laugh in your face. And then if there was say there was Australian troops, peacekeeping in some part of the world, let's just say, for example, Dubai or something like that, they were over there on a training mission or whatever. You know what the Australian government do, and if this was New Zealand too, they say the troops come home first, the hell with the people cherry picking. The soldiers who are fighting for us and fighting for our liberty and fighting for our freedom come first. And this is just classical Leo Varadkar. Worry about the people that are not from Ireland, but don't worry about the people who are from Ireland and they're just left abandoned over in Lebanon. We don't care. And so that's more or less the problem of the vets. And these families want to see their loved ones, want to see their mothers, fathers, daughters, sons. They want to see them. They want to see them in Irish soil. And I feel like we are abandoning them. I've said it so many times. I feel like we have abandoned them. We just left them over in Lebanon. We just leave them over there. That's what Michael Higgins is like. Get the few bob extra for the Taoiseach and the West. That they can keep it in the back pockets. It's not common sense, and I wouldn't give a damn. The whinging and quibbling and crying, the government and the Department of Defence, saying we can't leave them because there's nobody to replace them. No country will send any replacements. To hell with Europe. To hell with the European Union. For so long, Ireland's peacekeeping for the last. It's one of the biggest. It's the longest serving country in the United Nations. Peacekeeping, and so many soldiers and so many men and women died. Peacekeeping for the help of the countries. But we have to help ourselves now and again. As simple as that. And I'm sure everybody would agree with me. Them men and women deserve to be brought home, and deserve to be in their own house, in their own bed, to relax and to chill out, and not to be over in a foreign country. I'm sure people would agree with me. At least that's the biggest dignity we can give them. The biggest bit of respect we can give them. It's enough to be given bad money to be going over there. But to be treated like you don't exist, that's more or less what the government are treated like these defence forces, that they don't exist. And the cherry pickers are more important, and people who pick daisies are more important. If that was Leo Varadkar, he'd rather be picking people for daisies than picking people to go to the army. And you just like to Leo Varadkar, just go and jump in a ditch or something like that, because my Christ, leaving your men and women over there, when whinging and quibbling and crying that they can't get replacements and this, that, from any other country, to hell with them. I'm sure to God they can defend themselves over in Lebanon or wherever. But it's about getting them men and women home, back to their families, where they belong, back to their own country, and then when they, after the isolation for a few days, they can come back and help the people of Ireland, who they swore to protect and who they swore to defend their rights and defend their liberties. They want to come back. Them men and women want to come back and help with the national effort. They don't want to be standing over there looking at sand and waiting for the wind to blow. They want to come back and help their fellow people, and that's what they want to do. And I'm saying to Michael Egan's and Liam Fack, if you have a bit of money in your back pocket, because which you still, you just have a huge amount of it, maybe you might be a bit charitable and maybe you might let them home. Including Michael Egan's, was signed as president because you're useless. You're just useless. I've never seen such a useless president in my life. My God, the army was treated so badly since you took office. You never stood. You said a few times that I stand up for you. I make sure that you get better pay and the rest of that, but you never done anything. You never done anything. If anything, you made it worse. And you as Commander-in-Chief of the Army, I'm sure that God you have a big say in the Constitution of Ireland. You'd have to be a figurehead, but my God, you must have a say in the Army. But no, you just refuse to say anything. Anyway, thank you for watching. Be safe, everybody.